Well, hello there. This video, like I mentioned in the last one, is now going to be about the 57 Chevy two-door hardtop Bel Air. And it has come a long way in the past 2.5 years, maybe a little bit longer. And Puss in Boot will agree. Here she comes. Every time I start a video, she comes walking around. I can't believe it. She wants to be on TV or in the video. Yeah, good old YouTube video. Right, Puss in Boots? Okay, so I'm going to take you a walk around and show you a few things, talk about like the Hydro Boost. I'm going to refresh people's memory. I did a TikTok video on that, and I believe it even might have made it on Facebook when it comes to hooking up a Hydro Boost with power steering and power brakes. This car from original factory did not come with power brakes or power steering, but that's okay. They actually sell the steering box for the Tri-5 Chevys so that you could hook up the power steering. I do believe back in the day they did have it, so it's not uncommon, but this one did not come with it, which was fine. I'm all good with that, but now it has it. And I changed the whole color profile. This used to be desert turquoise. Everybody might call it blue, but actually turquoise. No longer. And it had a white interior with black centers. The dash was desert turquoise, and so was the rest of the stuff. And as you'll see, there's no more chrome finish, no more stainless steel finish on this car. Nope. A friend of mine knew that I was doing this car, and they came up with an idea. He goes, I don't know if you're going to want to do this, but he knew I wanted to do something different to make the car stand out, being it is my third time and final time of doing the car. Now, the last time it was done, probably 17, 18 years ago, and painted, frame off, the whole 9 yards, just like now, frame off, restoration. And I never even put a drop of gas in the brand new tank that I put in there. Didn't really have the chance to finish buttoning up the interior and finish putting some of the chrome and stainless on there, but that's okay. I just figured now is the time to go through the whole car and just do a whole different outlook, and I'm really enjoying it. It looks great. So we're going to start with the Hydro Boost. So I'm going to take you on a little journey here. Well, now as you can see, the engine bay area. Yesterday I spent the day putting on these outside. They're part of the bumper chrome called the hood bar, and these are the extension pieces that have been bolted to the fenders in the front, and there is an inner pan with a drain tube that comes from the inner ductwork that is a part of the front assembly, the headlight bezel assembly. I'm going to have to loosen it up, set it back some, because I would not be able to bolt up the 3 aluminum inserts that go in there, because I can't get at the top bolts. Like I put these on first, and I should have done it to the other side. So now you can see what I'm talking about, and you can see the nice shiny black stainless. And this is all together. Yep, same thing. And not only did I get a chance to do all that, I also put in these inner, they could be dustpan-like thing, windshield type pans, but they are original. Every piece of sheet metal that's on this car is original of 57. I don't have any aftermarket parts on here, so they're all original from 1957, including the ductwork, which some of the guys eliminate when they're doing a resto mod or something. I really didn't want to. The other pieces that I have that go in there, they're right there. That would be the passenger side. That's the driver's side. Even though I'm having air conditioning, I wouldn't mind having, say, fresh air come in and have it hooked up. I'm hoping that the company that I got the paint from, which is Auto Paint HQ. I really like their products. I'm very comfortable with them. Their prices are very reasonable, and unfortunately, they stopped making this color. It is a candy pearl fuchsia. I love it, and with a base coat of black. So it's a three-stage paint. First, you put down the black, and then you put the candy pearl, and then the clear. So I told them just last week that I wanted to make panels to cover this, to go over this, so you can't see anything in there, because that's where the ductwork goes. It goes in there, and then right here where these two holes are on the fender is where the bracket would be for the electric motor, for it, you know, to blow in heat and stuff like that. But I eliminated that, and there you can see the line sticking out for the evaporator for my air conditioning, which here is the compressor. And so I'm going to have air conditioning, but I want to create panels for these so that, you know, it look finished. And I told them I don't have any more paint. You guys don't make it. So they're going to try to reproduce it, and I hope they come through. You guys should maybe look them up. Hopefully I can put their link to them in the description, along with the fellow who I worked with to do all the powder coating for all the chrome and the stainless. It's LS Powder Coating. They're in West Palm Beach area of Florida. And then the fella who did the hydro dipping for a lot of the stuff that you can see here. You know, the upper cover for the air filter, top of the valve covers, and even the cap right there. And they also, I'll take you to the back. It's covered, but let's see. You can see the back end of this, most of it is together. I had them do the aluminum inserts for me in the same manner. It just came out awesome. It's the design and colors that I picked. And they also did my aluminum inserts, which I guess I'll have to go to the other side to show you. Yeah, this color is wild. It flips when, depending on how the light hits it. Let's see here. The powder coating for the Chevrolet and the aluminum inserts were also done by LS Powder Coating. They did powder coat these, but I wanted it to look a little different. And the same color that I painted under the car is what I painted these. So I finished it off real nice, because these V's are pretty darn expensive. So being I have the original ones, there was a couple of marks and dents that I needed to take care of, and then I painted it. I still have to put the key assembly in there. I'm waiting for the other taillight assembly, just like that one there, so I can install that one. And I'll show you the inserts for the dash. I can get one of them out without causing any damage. See, so now you can see there's three pieces for the dash. This is the main centerpiece, and then there's two curved. One goes on the opposite side of the steering column, which is over there, and the opposite side where the clock goes, and it curves around. So let me place this up here. He did them for me. He did a great job. I'm really happy with them. So going forward, if you all want any of this done, holler at me and I'll get you set up. You can always send them my way, and I can always deliver it to them and move forward from there. Yesterday I also put the wind guards too. I know dust guards, wind and dust guards. They belong there on both sides. Now here is the Hydro Boost, and I was setting temporarily the lines up the way they would need to be run. This one right here, the one that looks braided, this one here is going to the driver's side of the hydro boost, which is pressure side. And then the return, which goes to the bottom, but there's a T that goes in, because the T also hoses to the front of the power steering box. And then you have that would be the front part of the hydro boost. Now the last part that gets hooked up is the rear part of the hydro boost, which then goes to the basically the rear part of the power steering box. So, but I'm going to run a little bit longer line. I'm not going to be that close to it. Yeah, I got to make sure I have enough room. So to kind of freshen up your memory, you have return, which basically you have to put this T in there. This one right there goes in that line. Clamp, it's not high pressure, so you don't have to worry about much, which goes to the bottom here of my power steering unit. And then you got the pressure side, which comes up, well, it won't be this long, goes around, and it comes out of the backside, driver's side. The only side on that hydro boost side is where the pressure goes into it. And then coming back out for the return on that is the furthest one to the front of the car, which, you know, like I said, it tees off because you got to run here and you have to run right over there, the front piece. And then the last line, which is pressure, this one here, which will end up going to the steering box. So that's that. And this whole front assembly right here, part of it, the main line here is from Holly. And I've mentioned this before also in a TikTok video that I posted, which I believe ended up also on my Facebook, maybe even Instagram. But you could save some money if you look up your own pieces. And if you need to know any more information on that, just place a comment. Hopefully I'll see it and I'll be able to move on from there. So the other thing I discovered as I was standing here looking at these lines, this has all been here before, but not finished like this. The neck for the thermostat, that's always been the one I used. So for the life of me, I don't understand why this is so close, because I've had this car over 40 years, and as I built the car, this is the only engine that's ever been in it. That's been the carburetor, that's been the air cleaner, other than the actual air cleaner itself. So I had to go pick up another one, even though I have two other ones. Maybe I used this other chrome one, but I doubt it. You know, but I was able to get one from Ireland, mainly O'Reilly's, but you know, what the heck. But now I have one that comes out at like a 22.5 degree, and I just got done putting the first coat of paint on there. I got to put some more paint on it and then clear it up, and she'll be fine. So in the meantime, once I go to put that back on, I got some other things. Another thing I have to finish up on this car. The top is painted, but I still have to cut and buff. You can see it's got a gold, maybe you can see it's white with gold-like and some other color pearls in it, and it's a beautiful setup. Dash is black. The whole interior is going to be black. I still have to put the stainless here on the side of the doors. I was just making sure because we just got done putting the front fender on this past weekend, and the weekend before we got that side on. So between the inner fender and this fender, I wanted to make sure everything lined up nice. This is placed where it belongs with enough clearance, so when the door opens, it's spaced nicely. So now that the door is the way it should be, I have a towel here because I don't have the latches in yet, or the rubber sealing yet, which I have them. And even the door handles are black. So now that it's properly in place, I can put the molding on and make sure I match it to that one right here and match it to that one right there on both of them. And you can probably see a little sneak preview of the instrument cluster. It's black. I left the trim around that chrome. I'm leaving any of the from the ignition switch to the clock to the controls in there, they're all be remaining chrome. The steering wheel's black. The steering column is black. You know, all that stuff is black. But I'm leaving a little bit of chrome in there because let me go around the other side, hopefully. What I've done is I split the dash because the HVAC setup I put in there is not vintage air. It's my own setup that I came with that I made work at a fraction of the cost of any other company out there. Get this door open. So, being that I split the dash in half because it's spot welded, the top piece up there to the bottom section, you can see the chrome honeycomb nuts that I have up in there to keep the lower part of the dash together, and even here down the side, so that if I have to service the HVAC setup to get at the evaporator, it'll be easy enough for me to do it. I don't have to go through a whole lot of stuff. And if what I came up with fit near beautiful, if you ever want to know what to do and how to do it, you know, hit me up in the comments and I'll be more than happy to tell you how to get it done. But there's the rest of the stuff, and this has been treated with the sound deadening and weatherproofing material, but I will be adding more soundproofing on there. And here is one of the corners. This is the one, this goes in there like this, and that's the other half of where the clock would go in. Yep. So that's all said and done. I still have to make door panels. I will not be using these. The ones that are up here, I'll be using them as my templates, but I'll be making all new ones. Yeah, I'll be doing that too. I do the complete. I've done this whole entire car by myself. I just had, so I get some physical help putting some fenders on, and pretty much the rest is all me. Paint, body, everything, all of it. I even moved the engine and transmission 1 inch forward to give me more room for my distributor. I've done that too. I just recently done it for a 57 Chevy wagon, the red one, if you've seen that video. Let me take you underneath the car, hopefully. Let me go over here where the rug is. Hopefully you'll get to see it. You can start to see it. Yep. Leaf springs, rear traction bars are black. The hole underneath the car is called Egyptian gold. The frame is the same color as the car. And I moved the leaf springs in 4 inches. You can see them, how they're cut out and everything. I did all that too. Sway bar is there, which is the same color as the car. I can't wait to put this car in the lift. I'll have a better video of what it looks like. Yep, even the shocks I painted black. Everything. I love it. It just came out totally beautiful. All new body mounts. Yep, it's just a gorgeous car. Friend of mine, two doors over, Steve gave me these. I really like the way that looks. I have the original ones, actually, the original lenses from 57, but he gave me them. He gave me a set, so I put them on. I actually like it. So I don't want to be touching the car too much, leaning on it. But as I go in the back of the truck here, you can see all the hardwares, all the fasteners. These are going to be the ones used for the moldings for the door, along with 2 of these, one at either end, and then all these will be in the center. Hardware, I try to find as much as the black in different sizes that I needed. Yep, I even have the original. Y'all must know what this must be. If you know what it is, comment. I know what it is. But I won't be painting it and putting it on the car. I will give you a little bit of a hint. It mounts to the dash, and it does work. Yep. Oh yeah, more hardware. Oh, here's the hood covered. I'm waiting to get the hood bar back. He had to do it again, but there's the rockets. It's just beautiful. Totally beautiful. I love it. Color changes, like I said, it flip-flops. There's the rear bumper. Headlight bezels with the gold grille. I love it. It's going to match the gold grille that belongs on the front of the car. And more black hardware for when I go to put the bumpers together and put them on the car. Yep, even got some gold, and it actually is. It's gold-plated hardware. But as you can see, I got all the parts. I'm just carefully putting it all together. And a friend slash client offered to buy me the wheels and tires for my car. Yep, Mr. Dell. I'm sure he'll step up to the plate. And as long as they're black and they're going to be the size I'm looking for, I'm sure we'll come to some happy findings somewhere, because obviously those are the original wheels. Not the original tires, but they are the original rims from 57. So I do have a set of those, but they will not be going on the car. But the wheels that go on there will be black. Yeah, I had this style on there when I was running it before I tore it down for the second time. So that's that. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. Yep. And the reason why the front pan isn't on yet, and the front radiator support, the grill bar support isn't on, which is over here. This is the upper radiator support. This is the front pan. It's beautiful. This is the other support for the grill. And you could see the underneath is painted just like the underneath of the car. It's just awesome. But the reason why I didn't put it on yet is because it makes it a lot more comfortable for me to stand in here and work on this without leaning over the car. So once these lines are the way I want them, I haven't figured it out yet. You know, I want to make a nice, clean run. I don't want no sloppiness going on. So the hoses are long enough for me to make that happen. So that's how it's going to be. Well, now you can see actually the inner fenders, how they're the same Egyptian gold. You can catch part of the frame color. Yep. Also nice and pretty. Yep. And it does have disc brakes on the front, drum brakes in the back. And the other important part is right here. This is the adjustable. Let me get this out of the box so you can see it. It's proportionate valve. It's the one that is adjustable. So you can set that up correctly. It comes with both hardware, fittings, the wiring for it, for the brakes, which are actually under the dash. But either way, I'll have that all hooked up nice. And I do have to finish running the brake lines. Some of them are already up in here. And then I have to run new fuel lines from the tank all the way up to the mechanical pump. That's got to be done. I'll do that while it's on the lift. And here, like I did for the 57, the client, the wagon, the red wagon, he wanted to add the side mounts for his new engine. And he was going to just eliminate the original ones. I said, don't eliminate them. Let's use them. And I showed him that I did them to this car, and he agreed. So his, I moved 3/4 of an inch up. That's what the setting was for the side mounts that he ordered. So I followed same suit as bringing those up 3/4, but mine are done an inch because I made my own brackets, and which were a lot easier and better to work with, because I did mention how difficult those aftermarket ones were, and I didn't like them. So, but that's neither here or there. This is a beautiful piece. I love it. I know the first couple of car shows I take it to, I'm going to trailer it, and then eventually I'll drive it. But it's I know, I'm kind of thinking on taking it to SEMA. I believe it's SEMA quality. Maybe not every square inch. I'm not expecting to win first place, but if I can place it all, even third, fourth, to me that would be a great deal. So we'll see what happens. Yep, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, let me get started and then I'll show you how it ends up. So in the meantime, stand by. All right, here we are again. I made some headway. I had to do a couple of things, but we're going to stick at the moment to the hydro boost and the power steering and to the actual power steering pump. So I have the return lines hooked up and they're done, other than me trying to figure out how I want to make this look nice, neat, and clean and not be touching any of the metal so they don't wear. So just for your mind's sake, when you have the steering box in, the one closest, say, to the rag joint or closest to the firewall, we'll stick with that fitting, because there's only two on a steering box. Well, the closest one to the firewall is the return. All right, so the return will come over and go to the bottom of the power steering pump. But within there, you put the T that I've talked about before, and then the second return is now on the actual hydro boost part. And that fitting would be the one closest to the front of the car where there are two lines, because there's two lines on this side and only one on the left side. So you take the one where the two is, the very one forward is part of the return that you tee in, put in wherever you feel that you want to make it work. So right now I'm struggling with where I want the other line on the left side of the hydro boost, how I want it to run. Because of the fittings that they gave me, they're 90s. I didn't get any straight ones. It just come in a kit. That's the way it came. I could probably go get one, but the thing is, these are made to where you can put them on yourself. You can actually do the high pressure side yourself, and I'll show you how. They're pretty simple. This is what the 90 looks like. This goes to the fitting, whether it's on the pump or the hydro boost, they're the same. And you unscrew this. It's a long ways. So once you unscrew this and you take, say, the cap off, you counterclockwise this cap onto the hose. Now once this is in all the way, you'll see where it stops from the smaller end. Then what I did was I lubricated the stem part that has the threads with power steering fluid or transmission fluid and started the process of threading this in there, and it does an awesome job. And at that point, once you got to that point where it's real close, you can have this, turned in that direction. It'll be super tight, but you can bring it to where you have it clocked where you want it. So I thought maybe I'd bring it in from the bottom, go out the back by the firewall and the inner fender, and then come underneath and then come up to it to where it would look like this on the pump. But that isn't going to work because the angle that the hydro boost fitting is, once again, won't allow me to put it in like this, square up. It's like that. And the hose, the way it is, and everything that's in the way won't allow it to fit comfortably or even with some force. So I'm going to be stuck putting it in from the top, and I'm just trying to figure out the length of the hose so that I could cut it and fit it. In the meantime, I'm trying to screw this part back in there so I can figure out the proper length. Sure. So now it's back in, and based on the way this thing will flex and I think I need to secure the return lines first the way I have them visualized to go in and stay away from the exhaust manifold, the ram's head. And once I have that tightened up and secured, then I guess I can figure out this part. And I'll probably have enough hose left from this long one to cut it. Oh, let's hang on there a second, so stand by. Okay, I'm back. I had to take that call. Actually, that is the delivery guy for the engine for that 33 5-window Dodge Coupe. So that was important that I took that phone call. In the meantime, like I was saying, I'm going to have to position the hoses the way I need, and then this way I can figure out this part, and then I'll have the rest actually to do the other part from the back of the Hydro Boost, the last fitting to the last fitting on the steering box. So hopefully I'm able to make a nice run, loop it around, and make that work. But I was telling you about the thermostat neck. Let's see. Yep. Right there. You can see that. It is painted. It is installed. And this particular setup comes with an O-ring. Doesn't have the gasket, which is fine. The other one that I took off the same way, O-ring. And because they stuff the O-ring in a plastic bag with 2 bolts for this, and it goes into the hole, it left it oblong for a long time, and the O-ring needs to be round that sits in there. So I left it sitting out for a little while up here on the top, hoping that it would relax enough, but not really, it didn't. So in order to make sure that the O-ring was seated right, I used my mirror and I went around the back side of it because I could see the front was sitting in, and to verify that it's the way it needed to be. Now I can put this away. So that's on. Been working on that, and I also had to put a shim up on the upper control arm over on this side over here, but I painted it before I did that black. So it's been a little bit of an adventure. I'm trying to get this all set up, cut, put in place, fittings made, but at the end it's going to be just gorgeous. I might take it all apart and paint those fittings black, but I guess I have to wait until they're all made so that I don't mark them up. So in the meantime, until the next part that I do on this, stand by. Alright, I'm a little closer with the camera, and everything is in, tightened, fittings are painted, and the only thing I know I got to do is once the brake lines are put in, the proportionate valve is set up, then I'll be able to loop this the way it is right now, the way I'm holding it, so it has a nice uniform flow to it. All the other stuff is in, tightened, ready to work, other than having the trans fluid in there. Yeah, that's a lot. That took a lot of time because once I had them fitted, cut, assembled, then I needed to paint them, and it looks better painted versus having them shiny. I think the next thing I'm going to do is take one off at a time to the Hydro Boost, one of these fancy nuts, paint it, put it on, take one off, paint it, put it on, and go from there, and see how that works out. Yeah, I think so. Alrighty. What's next? I'm not sure. Wow. Yeah, the brake lines and the proportionate valve, it's going to take a while because there's 2 lines when it comes to the proportionate valve that are directly just for the front, one for each wheel, and then one separate one for the rear. So I got to make sure I got the proper lines and that would definitely take some time. So that right there, I might do that as a separate video. I think that's a good idea. So that this way I don't have to make really long videos. But hopefully what you got to see so far, hope you all like it. I really do appreciate people watching. If you subscribe, that'd be awesome. And give me a thumbs up, make a comment. And just like the questions I asked, if you need to know something, want some information, be more than happy to put that in your comment section. And hopefully I'll get to see it and be able to reply to it. So in the meantime, try to get something done. Thanks for watching.